What's hiding underneath things can be scary. Underwater, under your bed, especially what's under your carpet. Except when you get new carpet from Carpet One Floor & Home. After tearing up your old carpet, they'll vacuum and apply Health Annex antimicrobial to your subfloor, disinfecting and killing mold, mildew, and any remaining general awfulness. Carpet One Floor & Home goes the extra mile to protect you, your family, and your home. Carpet One Floor & Home in Columbia, making your home beautiful, guaranteed.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Tuesday, March 31st. Oh my goodness, this is the last day of March. I can't believe it. I thought we were just saying Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. This is March 31st and Gary Wunder is with us, National Federation of the Blind. Good to have you here, Gary.
Great to be here.
Yeah, on this last day of March.
Yeah, a time when we're using less heat and we are not yet into the air conditioning season. It's wonderful, unless you're a utility company, right?
Today, Gary wanted to talk about something that surprised me a little bit. Well, not surprised me that you wanted to talk about Braille, but the fact that there is some opposition to Braille in schools. Is that right?
Yeah, Braille is kind of fighting for its life. There are lots of people who think that Braille isn't necessary because if you can see a little, we can magnify print. If you can't see at all, we can let you play audiobooks. And what really happens is that blind people end up settling for mediocre solutions unless they can really see well enough to handle print. Braille is a magical thing. It's a reading and writing system that does everything for me that print does for you. But when we approach it in schools, people say, well, let's teach our children to use audio. Now, audio is great. I love audio. I bet you do too. If you and I were going to take a driving trip to Chicago, I think it'd be great if we went by the library and got ourselves an audible book to read. When I take a bath, I like reading audiobooks. It's hard on Braille when you're in the water. But the fact is that if I want to learn how to spell, if I want to understand punctuation, if I want to learn how to add up columns in math for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, I need something under my fingers that I can feel, like you need something with your eyes.
Well, exactly. That Braille would be like reading the newspaper or having a textbook in front of you and reading information from that textbook. That's exactly what Braille is, correct?
Exactly. It is.
And I find it fascinating that you are able to read simply by running your hand across the dots.
Sure. And you can understand that I find it fascinating that you can read by looking at ink shapes. I guess so. It's an amazing kind of thing that our brains are able to do. I mean, thank God that it works that way. Because before writing, think about how vulnerable stories were. We would pass them down, and I would add my little bit, and you would add your little bit, and pretty soon the story isn't the same anymore. And yet we have writing, and it's great.
So in Braille, is the alphabet, the ABCs are in Braille?
Absolutely.
All the numbers are in Braille?
Yes.
Is it difficult to learn?
It depends when you learn it. If you learn it at 6 years old, it's not difficult. If I were to teach it to you today, I think you would find it much more difficult than a 6-year-old. But what gets to be a problem is that I can probably never teach you to be fast at it. And of course, fast is really important. If you're going to live in the information age, not only do you have to be able to process information, but you've got to be able to process a lot of it. And you got to be able to do it as quickly as your sighted peers. So if we argue about whether or not you're going to learn Braille, print, or audio, and we spend 3 or 4 years arguing, we've put you significantly behind. You know, when I was in school, and probably when you were too, they would say, in first, second, and third grade, we teach you to read. And in fourth grade on, you read to learn. So learn to read to learn. I kind of messed that up a little bit. But you gotta learn it early if you want to be fast at it, and of course you want to be fast at it. You even want to be fast at it if it comes to reading your grandchild a story that'll keep her interest, you know.
Now, there are many books that are printed in Braille?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Absolutely. Many, many books are printed in Braille.
So why is there a conflict in teaching Braille in school?
Well, first of all, you have to train the teachers. And then the teachers have to have enough exposure to Braille to get good at it. And then they have to have enough students to keep them proficient in Braille. And what we have is we have a low incidence population of blind people. So if you go through the special education system, they may not give you enough Braille to make you feel comfortable with it. And then if you get out of school and you start teaching other students with disabilities and you don't run across a blind person for 5 years, your Braille skills are not that good. So it's very difficult. We're starting to bring technology into this so that we can take a Braille teacher and put her in one place in any state in the country. And by using a Braille display like the one I'm using here and her using a Braille display, we can connect through the internet and she can teach you Braille without either one of you having to travel. So this is a good thing for Braille.
I'm watching you now with total fascination as you run your hands across that bar. What are you reading?
I was reading little action points that I wanted to make to you. So I was saying print is good for people who can deal with it if they don't have eye strain, if they don't get headaches, and if their eye condition is not degenerative. If not, Braille is the answer.
You're reading. Are you reading that word for word as you're sliding your hand across the bar?
Right.
You're reading that word for word.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The only thing I can say is that I'm totally amazed by this, because it's almost beyond comprehension for me, since I do not understand. I don't know Braille and I don't understand Braille. It looks foreign.
I agree. And that is the same thing that parents and teachers face when somebody suggests, we want your child to learn Braille. And they say, no, I don't know Braille. I would prefer they learn print. But the difficulty is that if you can only learn to read print at 20 or 25 words a minute, you can't do what I do.
Okay.
I'm an editor. I've got to read through lots of different material to figure out what goes in my magazine and what doesn't. I've got to be familiar enough with punctuation to know how to correctly punctuate it. I've got to be familiar enough with spelling to know when you've made an error and to correct it, so that the end result is that when an article goes in the magazine and it has your name on it, it makes you look good.
You made a good selling point there.
Yeah.
You made a good selling point. Gary Wunder, if people want more information, we are out of time, but they can go to the website.
Yep.
National Federation of the Blind.
nfb.org.
nfb.org.
Yeah, like neverfeltbetter.org.
I got it. All right. And there will be tons of information on not only on Braille, but of all the other helps that are needed.
Absolutely.
Okay. Gary, thank you so much for coming by, and please visit us again, will you?
I'd love to. Thank
All right.
you.
Gary Wunder, National Federation of the Blind. For more information, go to their website. And if there's something you'd like to hear here, I would love to hear from you. pepperpmissouri.edu. Bye-bye.